Welcome back to Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth, welcoming a young, vivacious, just incredible vibe young lady who is actually new to Houston. And just the way that we have linked up is, I'm just calling it divine intervention. She is the founder of the Art of Yoga. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely Yogi Jaz.
Hi.
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I am so glad that you are here. So a good friend of mine, Joshua Dada, hit me up and he asked me if I was into yoga. Mm-hmm. And I told him that I was like, you know what? Getting into yoga or just being introduced to it or doing it for the first time was actually on my list of things to do for 2019 because I just feel as if there's a great spiritual connection, how it aligns your mind and body. I feel that it's relaxing. I can stretch my muscles and my body out just to be more in tune with my body and having some sort of inner peace. I mean, I do have inner peace, but it's just that alignment.
Yes.
And so when he told me about you know, being new here and you're doing the Art of Yoga, I was like, you know what?
It's time.
It is time. I was like, this is a sign. So yeah, let's do it. And then when he was telling me just how great your energy was and the conversations that you all have had, I was like, you know what? Not only will I come to the event on Tuesday, but let me have her on Access Houston so we can talk about, you know, yoga, what it does, how it aligns your body, you know, spiritually, mentally, physically. And he was like, great. And so she's here. And I'm so glad. And Joshua was right because off of the initial meet, it was just great energy. Yeah, it was. It really was. So welcome.
Thank you. It's so crazy to talk about alignment in general because I'm sure since he told you the story, you know how like divinely that happened.
Right.
And then that this happened. And for
Right.
it to be something that you were actually seeking out.
Yes.
And then for us to meet today on the first.
Yeah.
The first month on the 11th, which we were talking
Which
about
we're talking about
numerology.
right. Yep.
And it wasn't planned. It just happened.
It just happened. And then for me to tell you that, you know, I'm telling our vice president and GM about it, and then she just so happens to be standing there, and then there's some other folks from Dallas, and you know, some people that we knew together that works here. Like, this is not by accident.
That's awesome.
It's not, isn't it though?
That is so awesome.
Okay. I know, right? All right, back to it.
We were already like getting into it and talking before we had to get on because we were about to get into some stuff. So you want to re-talk about what happened? I do.
So yoga is something that I have thought about and I was always interested in. Just never had the time to experience it. I've had a couple of yoga instructors on this program as well. A good friend of mine that I went to high school with, Chelsea Jackson, she is she's now a renowned yoga instructor.
Wow.
I mean, Janelle Monáe goes to her in Atlanta. So I have a friend that's into it, and I just felt that as if I needed to, I wanted more alignment, right. And I wanted to also challenge my body and, you know, just do more stretching and I just wanted something different. Mm-hmm. And yoga has always been that thing that has been in the back of my mind. And as I was telling you, you know, just when it comes to that spiritual, mental, physical alignment, how over the holiday season, I didn't work out a lot. I might have worked out twice in that whole 3-week, you know, break. But I was telling my mind that my body was working out.
Yeah.
I was telling my mind that, yes, we are still doing squats on the barbell. And I would sit and, you know, think about that and tell my mind to tell my body that it's doing that for, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. Or even if just at random, like when I would think of it, I would try to, you know, send that message from my brain to my body. And honestly, my body still felt tight as if I had went to the gym. It was really amazing. And I was like, this really works. This is real.
The power of the mind over your body. I just watched something. There was a doctor, Eastern medicine, and they were doing a research, some sort of experiment with water molecules. And it was talking about showing gratitude and speaking to or sending positive energy to water molecules. Mm-hmm. And they were talking and speaking to certain water molecules, and they were showing them under the microscope and freezing them. And the way that the molecule froze when it hadn't been spoken to looked completely different than the water molecules that had been. Just like when you talk to plants, when you actually love plants or you send them gratitude, they change as far as their growth and development. And it was just talking about like how powerful energy and speaking to is. And when you do that to yourself, you can have that happen. Your body responds to it. The self-talk that people have with themselves, we're really critical of ourselves. A lot of people do a lot of beating up on themselves, yes, making mistakes or whatever. And the more that you talk that way to yourself, that's what happens as far as what you're attracting and what you're manifesting. So the more positive that you are, telling your body that it's working out when it's not, and for it to respond that way just shows you the power of what if you tell it that it's limitless? What if you tell it whatever it is that you want to say, what can it do? And that segues into my class because I'm bringing a different aspect to yoga because training your mental space and having discipline and really understanding the union between your mind and your body is so important. And if you can tell yourself at the beginning of your practice, I'm setting my intentions that I'm going to endure this practice and I'm going to really focus and channel in, even when it gets difficult, already setting that intention and telling yourself you are going to do it. If you believe that, if you've already set the intention, but if you're like, I like to tell people if there's something that I'm going to tell them to do that's challenging, before we even start, tell yourself I can do this. Mm-hmm. Look at your partner, say you can do this. And once that happens, you've already decided I'm going to do this and I can. It's all about your mind. Everything that you think you can do, you can. Everything you think you can't do, you cannot. Mm-hmm. So taking that from your yoga class and infusing that into your life. So that's what I'm trying to do with yoga. It's not just the physical practice. I'm going to teach you tools that you can take into your day-to-day practice. If you can conquer your mind, you can conquer your body, you can conquer your life, you can conquer your environment, you can conquer what you attract to yourself.
Yoga Jazz with a word this morning. You're listening to Access Houston. We are talking to the founder of the Art of Yoga, Yogi Jaz, and she is launching on this coming Saturday, the 19th. Tell us about the Art of Yoga launch.
So it is going to be at an art gallery called the District Art Gallery, owned by Miss Mariah, who I love as well. We had a very divine meeting also through Jonathan.
Yeah, I've had I've been to a couple of events that was held at District
that place.
Art. Yeah.
So the place is super, super cool. It looks like an industrial, intimate space, and it has like
that whole area
unique.
Yeah, that whole area.
I love how it looks. And it features local artists, and it has contemporary art, modern art, and she changes it every month. So you'll have a new experience every month. And so my class is there. We're launching on the 19th, but I'm going to be teaching weekly, 3 days a week. So you'll be able to get a membership package, which is definitely better for you as far as value. And each week is going to be, you'll have an accountability partner, and I'll see you next class. You know what I mean? So each week we're going to focus on something that we're building up a practice to. So you come on Monday, we'll start the beginning. You'll have your homework to do in your own personal practice at home. And then Wednesday when you come back, we'll take it to the next level. And then on Saturdays, we'll be able to master that. So it'll be something different. I'll also be featuring special guests and workshops. I have a young lady who plays the fork. We also have singing bowls. So we'll be doing meditation classes. A lot of people want to learn how to meditate, which is huge on conquering yourself, quieting your mind, having that happy place to go to where you can relax. You can step out of your ego. You can deal with a stressful situation. You can deal with your kids running around, screaming, whatever you need to do.
Very important.
Very important. And I really want to build a community that is more bringing emphasis to the spiritual community of yoga. There's so many people, and it's so spread out because the vegan community trying to look for other people and other things to do together, and people who are stepping away from religious groups or whatever have you still want to be fed and still want to get together with people. So I want to create a space for that and for them to showcase what they have to offer. Massage therapists, Reiki healers, crystal healers, all of that type of thing. So I'm just trying to pull it all together.
Hey. And you will. And we are all here for it. You're listening to Access Houston, talking to Yogi Jaz, founder of the Art of Yoga. Her launch is happening Saturday at the District Art Gallery, 810 Ritchie Street here in Houston. I think that's kind of considered like the East Side kind
close to downtown-ish.
Yeah. So over there in that industrial area where all the graffiti murals and things are over in there. How did you get started in yoga? How were you introduced?
Let's talk about this. I didn't even think to talk about this. So about 4 years ago, I started like what you would call an awakening process where I started becoming aware of myself. And a lot of people just walk around and unconsciously exist, doing things that have been taught to them without thinking further or finding out what resonates with them or evaluating their own responses, because we're taught so many different norms. When this happens, you do this, or you feel this way, or you react this way, and really like seeing myself. And I just started to shed traumas, emotional issues, things that were bad for me, health-wise, mentally, spiritually. And I started taking Acro Yoga first. Acro Yoga is a combination of acrobatics and yoga. It's partner yoga. Okay. It's really, really fun.
Oh, yeah. I've seen, there's a place here in Houston downtown called Discovery Green. And there was some yoga group down there. And so I saw a black couple with the acrobatic yoga, him lifting her up on her feet, her doing something really incredible on his feet, like in them. So yeah, I've seen that.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So I started doing that.
Looks like a circus act.
It does. And I started to learn that I didn't trust people in general. Through that. Because there's a lot of trust that happens in partner yoga, because you could hurt yourself for sure. And even if you're telling your partner, this is our plan, I trust you, if your body is tense and your energy is rigid, that can be felt and that will be transferred, and mistakes can happen from that. And I just took that and took it to my real life. Trusting people to come through for me, to help me, to be honest with me, and not letting trust be dependent on other people, letting it be something I'm mastering within myself. I'm releasing the fear and I'm choosing to trust no matter what. Things just started to get so much better for me. And so I was like, let me look into a personal practice if the partner yoga did so much for me. So me doing that changed my life. I was able to get into places within myself that I had no idea were there.
I feel that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And that came with wanting more information to help me go deeper. Trying to meditate for the first time and bringing that into your yoga practice, it's really challenging because our mind, we don't know how to just be.
Right. I agree. Yes.
And all the things of what I need to do next, or my leg is itching or whatever, something has to happen in here. And to really relax and just hold space for yourself and just be appreciative that you are in existence right now.
Right now.
We don't even... You can breathe on your own right now. Like just stopping to, let's just take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose. The relationship between your lungs and air is what love is. I read that somewhere. Just like, yeah, it really helped me explore myself. So I started to research, I started to read, and really started my practice. And that practice made me so present and value life so much that I quit my job. I was like, I can't write off 8 hours a day as work because these are 8 real hours. I started to really value every single second
goodness.
of my life. And I'm like, there's so much more that I have to offer than what I was doing at the time. I was in property management. And I was like, I'm sitting at this desk for somebody else's. It's not even their dream. It's just a way to make money.
Right.
And that's not what I'm here for. So I encourage anyone. There's so many opportunities, and not everyone is, you know, has an entrepreneurial spirit, but there's so many ways. So I encourage you, if you feel that way, to find out what your soul is calling for and find out a way to fulfill that, because you don't have time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have right now, and right now is important.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got into it. And then once I quit my job, I ended up going on a yoga retreat, which was such a divine experience. I told my yoga instructors at the time I wanted to be an instructor, and they were like, let us hook you up with our friend. I had no idea she's like one of the leading yoga instructors in the world.
Oh.
Koya Webb. She is phenomenal.
I've heard of her.
Yes. Like, so she had a retreat. I wanted to do an immersion program. I didn't want to get trained locally or online. I was like, I really want to pour into myself as an instructor so I can give everything that I have to my students. So she was going to have a retreat, and the retreat ended up getting pushed back because of something she got hired for. And so I was like, I ended up talking to her, and I just like poured my heart out. I didn't have any expectations. I was like, I have to change my life now. I was like, I love you, and I really wish that I could be, you know, taught by you, mentored by you, but do you have any suggestions of something else? Because I can't wait until the end of the year. And this was at the beginning of last year. And she was like, you know what? I don't know what it is about you, but I feel like I need to facilitate what you need. Come live with me for 2 weeks. And
come live with me.
Yes. So as I'm telling this story, I just really want to highlight divinity, like our meeting and how things line up. When you really are open and receptive to what life has to give you, and you know what you want, it's going to pour into your life. You just have to be ready to jump.
I'm so glad that you said that, because I honestly believe that when we enter the new decade in 2020, that is going to be the goal for everyone. I
agree.
I honestly believe that.
Have you been paying attention?
We'll be digital and we'll be spiritual. All in one, because I feel that everything is going to digital. We're going to get we already do get all our information and look at content and everything on our phone. I just think that the expansion of that is going to be more. And I honestly believe that come 2020, that what you were just talking about is going to be paramount in people's lives, because throughout the 2010s, we've seen what social media and the internet and technology has done to humans in terms of that contact, human contact, in terms of just being present in the moment and aligned. Like, you know, I work in radio, and I used to record a lot of video at a concert that I'm at, but then I was just like, forget that. I'm here to enjoy. I'm present. I need to be in the moment.
Yes.
And so that's what I do. I mean, sometimes people will be like, "Oh, dang, you was at the Childish Gambino concert. You only posted one thing." Yep. Because I was too busy enjoying it. And the part that it was a little slow down or something that I wasn't, you know, all the way interested in, I decided to capture. Yeah. So I feel that is where we're headed.
I hope so.
I really do.
It seems like all the steps that have happened, and then you'll see like the collective feelings about what's happening cosmically.
Yes.
All the transitions, whenever there's like a retrograde of some sort, people understanding lessons differently, or people like this year pushed a lot of people into really focusing in on their purpose and conquering themselves. Like a lot of people realizing that they can do something different
and greater. I myself, was hosting an event a while ago, sometime early last year, and it's hard. You're your own worst critic, and we're the hardest on ourselves. I left that event impressed with myself. I impressed me from my hosting duties, entertaining, everything that I had did. Like, I impressed me. Like, I'm literally walking to the car like, damn, like you really did that. Like, that was great. And then just driving home, thinking about it, because it's hard to impress and please yourself. So when you do that, you know that you done did some amazing, dope stuff when you impress yourself. And so as I was driving home, Jazz, I was like, damn, like, what else have I not tapped into? I have not tapped into my full potential of what I can do, period.
Yeah.
And that was just a moment for me. Like, I need to tap into that greaterness that is in me.
Abundance blocks. You're your own limitation.
Yes.
You're your own worst critic.
Yes.
There's no one, there's no entity, no one is holding you back from anything that you want. We create the limitations. We believe that some other entity is holding us back. And it's usually fear that we're unaware of. How many people are approached with what they think will make them happy and they're afraid to take that opportunity?
Oh, a lot. But I had saw an old interview from Vanessa Williams, and she was I forgot what she was going into, what new show or venture that she was doing. It's an old video. And she was like, and I'm scared. I am terrified. But you know what? I'm going to be scared.
And do it anyway.
And do it.
Do it scared. That's what makes you feel alive. You don't need anything, any substance, anything. Do stuff that scares the hell out of you, that you love and that you want to do, and it makes you feel so vibrant.
This is so... to the universe, to God, to Allah, whoever set this up, Lord, thank you. This is because this is absolutely meant to be. If I had to listen, to be totally honest, we have already gone over time. I had one slot left on this show on Sunday. We have talked the entire segment. Okay. Which means that somebody's going to get bumped because I'm airing this entire thing. No, you don't apologize because it ain't them. It's the universe. It's God. It's whatever this is, because it's so necessary. It is so necessary.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so very welcome. Yoga Jaz, the Art of Yoga launch is on Saturday, the 19th at the District Art Gallery. That is 810 Ritchie Street here in Houston. What time?
It is at 12 p.m., but please get there early because class will start right at 12. You need to find parking, which street parking is free. You can find tickets on Eventbrite, or you can go to my website, www.yogi, Y-O-G-I, Jazz, J-A-Z, Porter.com.
Lord, it's Yogi Jaz. I've been saying Yoga Jaz this whole time. You should have corrected me.
You want. It's okay.
No, I like to be right. Yogi Jaz with the Art of Yoga. This was so amazing. Thank you so much for your time and being able to come at such short notice. Like, this was amazing.
Thank you. And thank you, Joshua, for connecting us.
Yeah, no doubt. Dada, my guy. I appreciate you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening to Access Houston.